Hi, and welcome to a new video. There are so many great free plugins, especially in the area of effect plugins, that we can barely touch the surface. In this video, I can only present some of them which belong to my personal top 10, but consider this list anything but complete, and isn't somehow ordered by rank. You can use the timestamps in the description if you want to skip certain parts you're already familiar with. And I've listed all the links where you can get these plugins from. This is a huge and top-notch bundle of really professional plugins. The complete free version got a few limitations, but nothing which would be a showstopper for daily use. You can upgrade this free bundle to get rid of these limitations. The regular price is €49, but Melda does sales on a regular basis. I upgraded the free bundle years ago at 50% and €25 for 37 plugins. It isn't a bad deal, especially as Melda has the same lifetime free upgrade policy like we know from ImageLine. Going through all of them would go beyond this little overview, but I like to show you some highlights. Especially useful for all EDM producers is the M.o.R pitch, as it fills a gap which isn't possible in FL Studio natively. Automating formant changes. This is the original with some reverb and delay.
Children of the night, shut up!
And this is a quick and dirty modulated version.
Children of the night, shut up! Shut up!
The free EQ plugin has some nice features too, like automatic gain compensation for volume changes, a limiter, or different processing modes, for example a mid-side mode, where you can choose for each band in which mode it shall work. Or for example filters up to 20 poles, means a steepness of 120 dB per octave. Or for example a very nice MIDI feature, where the EQ bands follow your MIDI notes when routed to the plugin. Very interesting results you can achieve with the harmonics feature. Or the inbuilt saturation. The M wave shaper was indeed a bit stolen from our native wave shaper, but shines with some additional features like automatic gain compensation, different operation modes for more intense results, and a nice menu for setting a note's properties. Melda plugins in general are very flexible, and many of them offer internal modulators too. Besides being highly optimized in CPU and RAM usage as well as loading times. Something you should definitely check out. Another great bundle of 4 highly professional but complete free plugins come from Tokyo Dawn Labs, respectively Tokyo Dawn Records. Yes, these are stripped-down versions of their payware counterparts, but stripped down is perhaps a bit overdriven, as every single plugin is still full-featured for at least 90% of all possible tasks. Slick EQ is a very powerful 3-band EQ with an additional high-pass filter. This plugin is perfect to learn EQing by ear and not by eye, a challenge for many. Nova is perhaps the best free dynamic EQ on the market. Perhaps even the only full-featured free dynamic EQ. I honestly don't know. Molotov is a very nice character compressor, which is anything but clean. Its dirty sound can really enhance drums and bass up to everything you need a bit of crunch on. Kotelnikov is exactly the opposite, a very clean master compressor. Its algorithms are so perfect that it is simply impossible to make it sound bad. It's of course capable to compress single channels too. These plugins are a must-have for everybody. The next and very important developer with many free plugins is Voxengo. You can't have enough distortion plugins, so there are Boogex and TubeAmp. Paired with some nice EQs, nice tools for mid-side encoding or stereo processing, up to my all-time favorite. You guessed it, Span. In my opinion, this is by far the best spectrum analyzer on the market, either paid or free. Voxengo plugins shine with a high-quality sound, a well-thought-out concept, and very flexible routing and multi-channel options. By the way, there's a nice color scheme from the FL Studio user Audio Saber to match the color set of FL Studio 20. I put the link in the description where you can download the corresponding file from LoopTalk. Once downloaded and unzipped the file, all you have to do is to load this file and its GUI perfectly integrates into your FL Studio. Check the Voxengo website for the full list of free plugins. There are some real gems in there. A plugin every at least electronic music producer should have installed is Xfer Records OTT. Steve replicated a very famous preset from Ableton Live's multiband compressor in a separate free VST. And this can change your life. Used to the right amount.
If I told you a story, would you believe every word I said? If I told you a story, would you believe every word I said?
It makes everything more polished and interesting sounding. Never go out without having this plugin at hand. An often overlooked, because a bit dated developer of free VSTs is called GVST. They are a package of very lightweighted all-day tools. My favorite, which I use on nearly every single channel, is the G-Clip. A simple but easy to use nice little clipper to transparently cut off any transient spikes which I don't need, to gain a whole lot of headroom without changing the sound at all. A nice and unexpected revival we had lately as Bootsy announced he has ported some of its famous 32-bit plugins into the 64-bit format. These plugins are really great. Especially the Nasty DLA is one of the most praised echo effects of the last decade. Don't get fooled because they are older ones and miss to check out these plugins. No one can talk about delay and reverb plugins anymore without mentioning Valhalla. And they've got very nice free plugins as well. Above all, Supermassive. With the free Valhalla plugins, you can turn anything into crazy stuff, or in the case of Supermassive, into big lush reverbs. From Alex Hilton, there are two nice tools which fill some gaps in FL Studio. First, the Transgate, which we don't have got in such an easy way to use. Second, there's a nice stereo tool which got additional options, like for example a safe bass, which turns everything below this threshold frequency in mono, no matter how wild we go on the stereo widening. Let's do not forget the good old Camel Crusher, if you can still get it from any place after Camel Audio got destroyed by Apple. As I already said, you cannot have enough distortion plugins. One of my all-day favorites is Psyscope, a free oscilloscope from FX23. What makes it so special is its tempo syncing. It's perfect, for example, to control the phase relationship between kick and bass. It can show the summing of all signals going into it, or the separate layers to see them in isolation. Any phase issues get apparent immediately. Two perhaps not so well-known great tools for sound design are the free granular delay plugins Bubbler and Ergot Lunar. From normal granular effects up to tonal madness, everything is possible. And last but not least, the mother of all free plugin manufacturers, Analog Obsession. Don't get fooled that you can grab them for free. They used to be payware for a long time, but because of the huge competition, the developer decided to go a different way. And was right. From his Patreon site, you can download tons over tons of very good sounding, perfect analog model plugins, where many users prefer these plugins over expensive payware. You get all kind of dynamic plugins, console emulations, EQs, distortions, everything the analog area offered. Far too much to list everything. Even if the developer is kind enough to offer everything as freeware, you can of course support him via Patreon. That's it for today. A little journey into some great free VST FX plugins. In the next video, we will go through some free instruments. There are great options available in this section as well. So stay tuned and thank you for watching.